What is your go-to joke when somebody asks you to tell one? What statistically improbable thing happened to you? In your opinion, what is the dumbest way to spend time? Sitting in traffic. You mean to tell me you don't like sitting in your car for about 40 minutes before you even drive anywhere? I hate when I'm at work and I've finished all my tasks for the day, or hit the quota, and my supervisor tells me to look busy. I love that. I just love the fact that you can't go home once you've gotten your work done. You just have to kind of hang out. Arguing with people on the internet. I do it sometimes and feel dumb afterwards, even though I know I'm goddamn right. I fully understand this feeling. And I'm guilty too, okay? I'm guilty. Doom scrolling. Upvotes continues doom scrolling. Upvotes continues doom scrolling. Upvotes awards meaningless internet points continues doom scrolling. And the cycle continues. Yesterday, I got sucked into watching casino streamers all evening. I'm so sorry for you. That is an absolute waste of time. Prison. Name checks out. Working your life away so you can afford to stay alive to work more. I was trying to figure out how to word that. Thank you for having it for me. Doing anything you don't actually want to do. Forget about should and do only what you need or want to do. Honestly, kinda decent advice. What is a dead giveaway that someone is an only child? Thinking friendship is like having siblings. It's not. I would never smash a toy on my friend's head and expect them to speak to me after. From personal experience, food habits, like buying snacks to store at home and fully expecting them not to have been touched when you're gone, or eating slower at the dinner table because you're not fighting over the good food. As a teen, on the rare occasion my dad would steal a snack I got for myself, I'd freak out. Whereas my friends with siblings just resign themselves to the fate of snacks inevitably disappearing. My mom eats super fast at meals, and she contributes it largely to growing up with siblings. I can't tell for adults, but when it's one of my kids' friends, the kid who ends up trying to hang out with the adults and gets overwhelmed by being in a group of kids has been an only child 100% of the time in my experience. So does that make me an only child? Because I do have a brother. No tales of sibling violence. Doesn't flinch when someone makes a fist quickly. No, that second one is just abuse. That could be anybody who's been abused. From my own experience, not being as prone to loneliness. The only time I really feel lonely is when I'm around people I'd rather not be with. I am an only child. I've noticed I tend to make a lot of life choices on my own and don't seek out a lot of advice or ask for help when I could definitely use it. In fact, I've been pretty deep in tough situations when I finally have the realization that there are people and resources I can utilize. It's not so much I'm worried about asking for help, more like it doesn't even register in my brain that there is help outside of myself. Not sure if this is just an only child thing. This is like a neglect thing. You should maybe talk to someone about it. Pretty good at keeping ourselves entertained or doing things alone / being independent. They don't have any siblings. Facts. Yup, that for sure is a dead giveaway. I heard once only children are less likely to announce where they are going when they leave a room. Right away I realized I do that, but my partner who grew up with 2 sisters tells me where he's about to go when he moves, even if it's to the bathroom. They think that siblings are basically live-in childhood best friends. I mean, obviously in some families that is the case, but in a lot of them, no. If he keeps getting calls asking him about his whereabouts when he is out, I don't understand this one. What was ruined for everyone by one single person? Twitter. Oh, sorry, got something in my throat. The person who apparently choked on a lollipop at my bank, and now we don't get lollipops anymore. Aw, that's a bummer. I mean, bummer for the guy that choked, but bummer for the rest of us. The name Adolf has gotta be up there. The guy who attempted to smuggle a bomb in his shoe in 2001. Now we all have to suffer taking our shoes off at airport security every damn time we fly. Sure, there was that, but something else in 2001 also added to the problem. Had a retail job, and we used to be able to play our own CDs in the store, which was awesome. I wasn't working that day, but apparently Mike thought playing Rage Against the Machine's self-titled album was a good idea. And of course, Killing in the Name played while upper management was passing through. Several F-bombs later, there was a policy change. It sucked so much because they set up an MP3 system with about 90 minutes worth of music that we could not change. The repetition of the same songs got old real fast, and I quit shortly after. Ugh, why are customers such snowflakes? What, you can't hear the F word once in a while? I worked at an office that had casual Fridays. One day, a lady came to work on casual Friday in her gym clothes, and management was uptight and appalled by it. Instead of telling her that she couldn't wear gym clothes to work, they abolished casual Friday for everyone. Pisses me off to this day. Yeah, that's kind of an unjust punishment. They should have just told her, hey, that's too casual, please wear something normal. Every policy at every company I've ever worked at or owned was because of one person abusing something. So whenever you wonder, why the hell do we have to do this? It's because of one a-hole who ruined it for everyone else. That one kid in the classroom that can't just leave their effing phone alone. Now they're all in a box at the front of the class. The guy in Texas, I think, who ordered a huge meal for his last meal on death row and refused to eat it. They no longer offer a last meal request because of him. The interesting fact is that many death row inmates never touch their meals. I think it says far more about us than them that we have chosen to draw this line. People who've deleted social media, except Reddit, how are you doing now? My only regret was ever having social media in the first place. Life has been 1000% better without it. Never been happier. Much better. I deleted it 7 years ago before starting college. Yes, it took me 7 years to graduate as an engineer, as it was challenging and failed several times. If I had social media like Facebook during college, I would probably have dropped out or something, because most of my high school classmates graduated in 4 years. If I had seen all the graduation pictures, I would probably have felt like I'm behind or that engineering is just not for me. That's actually a really good point of how dangerous social media is, because you're just constantly comparing yourself to others, and it's just terrible for you. Great. I think I'm gonna delete the Reddit. Where else will you get the latest and greatest? In the newspaper, bro. Let's bring newspapers back! Oh, if we all start using newspapers, we are so back, baby. One of the best decisions of my life. Been more than 3 years. I had Snapchat 2 years ago, but only had 1 or 2 people. Also deleted it in the beginning of 2021. I only have Reddit. I think Reddit is acceptable since it's not about effing shorts, stories, bragging, and presenting yourself like all those other stupid social media apps. I mean, there's definitely all of that still on Reddit. You've just curated your page to not see that. You'll enjoy deleting it. Reddit, unfortunately, has a different sort of problem. The anonymity empowers a-holes and people who speak disingenuinely in bad faith. I see less ads now. So good. Well, just you wait. A lot of streaming services are getting into the ads game again. Much better, and not randomly losing friends. Public social media can be very dangerous, particularly with your personal and professional relationships. My friend's wife in corporate HR recommended I deactivate my Facebook, and she was 100% right. Now I just get into online arguments anonymously with strangers. The privilege of anonymity is insanely good. I feel a bit isolated, but ultimately, I think it was a great decision. Just as bored as I was before deleting them. Yeah, I don't know how to help you on that one, bud. Good luck. What's the brokest thing you've ever done? Looked up Google images of steak and milkshakes and other good meals while I was actually eating crackers and water, trying to envision good food to make the experience more enjoyable. Oh my god, yeah, that is probably the brokest thing I've ever heard. Called in sick on Wednesday because I didn't have enough gas money to drive to work but one more time, which I waited till Thursday to do, because that was payday. Back in the 90s, I wrote myself a check to cover me until payday. Oh no, buddy, I don't know if that's how that works. Brokest and stupidest thing I did. I bought scratch tickets in hopes to win money to buy Christmas presents when I was 18. I didn't want anyone to think I had money problems at the time, so I spent $10 on a scratcher and won $500. I don't know how, but it was enough for car insurance and presents. Admittedly, it's not advisable, but I don't think it's the stupidest thing you've ever done. It worked out, clearly. Also, don't gamble. Gambling is bad. Please don't do that. Walked into Costco with an expired membership card and had samples for dinner. I made the rounds a few times. Look, you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna shame you for that one. Bought a case of ramen noodles at the self-checkout at Walmart with 4 different debit cards that each had less than $1 on them. You can make partial payments at Walmart self-checkout, and nobody has to know how broke you are. Me and my 3 kids ate for the next 2 days. My motorcycle headlight broke, so I started riding around with a flashlight in my mouth. True story. I was young and very, very dumb. Showers at the gym, taking napkins and plastic utensils from restaurants, living off of protein powder and ramen. The gains never stop. Yeah, if you were actually working out at the gym and just downing protein powder and ramen, you were probably jacked. Once again, not advisable, it's a terrible diet, but it might have worked. What screams we are not going to last long for couples? When both make the atmosphere so uncomfortable when you are in their house, i.e. couples who have screaming matches when their friends are over just because why not? Walking on eggshells around your partner in terms of what you can and can't say. If you feel you can't disagree with your partner and or voice your opinion without it turning into an argument. If they have strongly conflicted plans for their future, either means they'll break up eventually or one or both of them will end up in an unhappy compromise, breaking up every few minutes and then back together again. Well, I don't know, depending on how long that cycle goes, it could go on for quite a while. Where are you? Hanging out with my cousins? Really? VC me RN. Yeah, that's a bit out there. If all disagreements end in arguments, me and my partner disagree about a lot of stuff, but we can talk, discuss, and even sometimes agree with the other person's side. It'd be weird if you saw eye to eye on 100% of stuff too. I was at a party one time and there was a marriage counselor there that had been working for 20-something years in couples counseling. I asked her what the number one sign was that couple wasn't going to make it. Without hesitating, she said, if one person shows contempt for the other's feelings, it's over. I always think of the bird theory. If one person says to the other, oh, look, a bird, and the other person wants to connect over the bird, just looking at it and giving a, hey, thanks, that's a cool bird, the relationship is not going to go well. Basically, you have to be willing to make small, everyday connections. I find this is true of a lot of relationships outside of romantic or sexual ones as well. When you start calculating how much you give and receive in a relationship, doesn't necessarily mean the relationship's gonna end, but it is causing a problem. Usually me. Well, I can say if you're screaming that's definitely hurting your chances. What's the craziest thing you've overheard on a plane? I don't know, I try my best to not listen to people on planes, unless obviously somebody starts screaming, then maybe I'll listen, but only maybe. A 5-year-old boy once said, Dad, can you ask them to pull over so I could go to the toilet? Haha. I mean, hey, at least the kid was trying to solve his problem. He just didn't know that he could do it there. The lady beside me told me that she was farting a lot, and she didn't care about telling me because she wouldn't see me again. Oh, so you were just seated next to a psychopath. I am so sorry. I was sitting next to a father with his small child. The child wouldn't stop hopping around until the father said, sit still and be a good boy or the plane will crash because of you and we will end up dying. Never seen a kid so quiet before. Hey, if it works, it works. I wish I could tell that to some kids. Pilot accidentally left the intercom switch on. The whole plane heard him say, ooh, that's weird. Nothing else. Plane took off amid varying levels of anxiety throughout the cabin. I'm here to tell the tale today, so thankfully it wasn't too weird. A guy coming home early to bust a cheating wife. He was on the phone with a friend/family who told him the other guy was at his house and they didn't expect him back until the next week. Ooh, that one's juicy. I overheard a passenger passionately arguing with their seatmate about the correct way to eat a slice of pizza with chopsticks. I was sat next to a teenage boy and his dad. The kid was telling his dad how much he loved the song Sexual Healing by Marvin Gaye. When the kid was finally done talking, the dad just looked at him and said, you're a virgin. Jesus, Dad, chill. Nothing too crazy. A couple in their 50s who were all over each other, like tongues in ears, hands in pants, etc. They were busy working out the logistics of their next getaway. They were both cheating on their partners and laughing at how gullible their significant others were, believing another business trip would come up so soon. Oh my god, I never really thought about how much gossip you can get while on the plane. A small child once told me that she had to fix the plane by lifting the armrest up and down. She also called me a dog-headed boy girl. Roasted. What are you sick of people constantly telling you? Ugh, I am so sick of people telling me to pay my taxes and go to therapy because you really need it. Like, get off my back. That I'm too young to have so many health problems / chronic illnesses / etc. Yeah, obviously. What do they think? That you chose to be dying daily? My mother-in-law follows up every comment that she knows rubs me the wrong way with, I'm only trying to help, or I'm just saying, fuck. Just stop thinking about it. When I'm anxious AF. Oh, thanks, never thought of that. Then I need to eat more or exercise to grow taller. I'm 19, not 9. It's not gonna work, buddy. I'm 4'11" for life. You should smile more. I'm a fairly peppy extrovert when I'm out in public, but I'm a female, working in retail, so the second I don't smile, some jack always has to say something. That I look like a child. I am over the legal drinking age in the US, but have had 2 people think my ID is fake recently because I looked 12. I hate the dentist. Am dentist. Look, it's not your fault for being a dentist, it's your fault for stabbing them in the gums every single time. It could be worse. There are people in a lot worse situations than you. Yeah, and it could be better, and there are people who have it a lot better too. I hate when people tell me what to do or what other people will think of me. I don't care what other people think of me unless they're being mean to me, then I kinda care. You need to lose some weight. Bro, if you know I'm fat, I definitely know I am. I'm trying, so shut up. What is a personal story you have that you don't tell because it sounds made up? I went to a July 4th party at Mark Zuckerberg's house once and he grilled me a burger. I mean, theoretically possible. When I was 15, I entered a national portraiture competition and unexpectedly won it. I had a 30-minute conversation about art with the late Queen of England. She gave me a book about fine art and some shopping vouchers as a prize. No, I can believe that one because, I mean, what was the Queen really doing most of the time? That the picture my mom have on her wall isn't me. It was my twin sister who died many years ago when we were kids. A couple of friends and I were messing around in an abandoned quarry. I slipped off the edge and fell about 60 feet, only to be saved from death by a tree branch getting caught between my boot and the laces. My friends found some of the strange blue plastic rope that you find near industrial sites and hauled my terrified 10-year-old self back to the top. I've done some stupid stuff, but that is by far the most idiotic, and no one believes it even happened. Well, yeah, that's like such a cartoon scenario that you got caught by a tree branch. Like, come on. I met Quentin Tarantino in a record/DVD shop in LA. We spoke for a few minutes, but he preferred that we didn't get a photo. I told a handful of people, and well, without proof, the story was met with disdain and disbelief. So now I don't really put that story out there anymore. Honestly, I'd believe that just because a lot of celebrities, believe it or not, don't want their picture taken 24/7. That I went to Universal Studios as a kid and took pictures sitting on Mr. T's shoulders from A-Team, and also with Michael and Kit from The Knight Rider. And we lost that roll of film before we could develop it. It's probably the only roll of film we've ever lost, LOL. I slipped on a banana peel once. I told a few people and they didn't believe me, so I stopped telling people. Last summer, while swimming at a busy beach, I got caught up in a rip current and had to be rescued by a lifeguard. Before I was rescued, a crowd gathered. When I finally got pulled out, exhausted, disheveled, covered in seaweed, dizzy, disoriented, spilling out of my bathing suit, etc., everyone started to clap. Most humiliating moment of my life, but also my only literal "and then everyone clapped" story. I got very sick when I was in middle school. Like, seriously sick. I wasn't even able to walk. I used to crawl to bathrooms. Standing up straight used to make everything look inverted. I was also getting weird rashes on my body. I also had very severely headaches, non-stop for months. We went to many doctors, but nothing worked. Painkillers did nothing. Doctors couldn't diagnose the disease. Then one day, I woke up and it was gone. Months of pain gone in an instant. I mean, the human body does work in very strange ways. What is something an ex gave you that you still have? A effing 800-pound piano and I don't play, and it's in the way, and does anyone want a free piano? She sewed a sweater for my childhood teddy bear because the one he originally had was lost in the laundry, and there is no way I would ever get rid of that. That's actually really sweet. I like that. A pillowcase she quilted for me. That was 40 years ago, and I still have it. This birthday card, it was just very sweet and well written. We broke up on great terms, but I read that card when I'm down. Amazing love letters. She was a beautiful writer and person. I haven't looked at them in a long time, but I like that I have them as proof that I could be loved like that. A beautiful guitar I never learned to play. I gave it to my son, and he's he's keeping the tradition alive by not learning either. The knowledge of what red flags look like. That'll stick with you forever, at least hopefully. The inability to make a romantic connection with anyone new. Also a cool watch. Well, you win some, you lose some. Trust issues. Thanks a lot, Nancy. Meh, better than herpes. Yeah, I think a lot of things are better than herpes, my guy. A crunchy mug from an Easter egg. Still my daily mug over 15 years later. A crunchy mug? What, is that a brand? I'm out of the loop. Trauma. I am so sorry. I hope you get better. What worst possible reply to I love you? I mean, the obvious one is, oh, well, I don't. Oh, that one's pretty bad. It's very vague on what they could be meaning by oh. Thanks, Dad. Seriously though, every time I've told my dad I love him, he replies with thanks. I love YouTube. I think they mean you have to say that kind of quick so it sounds like you're saying it back. Oh, I love YouTube. Aww. This right here might be the worst. It's very infantilizing. It comes off weird. I'm hungry. Let's get something to eat. Yeah, I know. I heard you the first time. It'll pass. A fox appears. He went that way. If you don't get it, go watch the show Fleabag, because oh my god, Fleabag Andy over here. I'm starting to cry. Who doesn't? Not that bad with the right delivery. I mean, it's still kinda bad. No reply at all would be the worst reply. Left on red, blocked. Ugh, yeah, especially living in the digital age that we live in, it can be so much more brutal than just a, oh, I don't like you. Yikes, the L word. Yes, I did get that once. Thanks, pal. Sorry, I don't date people with low standards. Who would ever say that? How does that work even? No, thank you. That's the kind of response I'd give if somebody said that at a restaurant and I just wasn't paying attention. What is the worst reply to, I'm leaving you? I'm coming with you. Who invited Samwise Gamgee? You always want to invite Samwise Gamgee, actually. We were never together. Who are you again? You say that every Christmas, Grandma. I'll help you pack. That one's not terrible. At least you're willing to help them in the end. You are the crappiest Siamese twin ever. How did you get out of your cage? What took you so long? I'll help you pack your stuff. What's your name again? Feel like anything along the lines of this one, that's just trying to murder the person. What would you wish upon your worst enemy? Netflix stopping to buffer at 99% for 30 seconds every 2 minutes. Oh my god, I hope I'm never your enemy. Them being stuck in the pooper with a toilet paper dispenser that shreds each square as they try to pull it out. Sleeves falling down while washing hands. Pillow always warm. Itching in a spot not reachable. And for the worst ones, needing to poop right after the shower. Lower their spice tolerance to the point where mayonnaise is too spicy. I like where your head's at. $100,000. I sure could use it. You'd wish that on your worst enemy? Why would you wish that they have $100,000? To fall in love with my ex. Well played. She's already dead, so nothing. Cheeto fingers that never stop. Nothing except orange cheese dust covering everything. Diarrhea. The bad kind. The one where you're not sure you're gonna make it and you get the sweats. All this while you have somewhere you have to be and you're expected. They break their big toe. When it's 90% healed, they re-break it. Forever. What can you not understand no matter how many times it's explained? How to whistle with your fingers in your mouth. I can whistle breathing in, out, and with my mouth fully open, but I get nothing but spit when I try with my fingers in my mouth. Edit. Thanks to everyone's love and encouragement through this time of learning and growth. I'm excited to say with your support, I made some kind of whistling noise. It's not perfect. More spot than sound, but there was a hollow sound somewhere in slobber. I feel like I'm halfway there and will keep working on getting it. Please use me as inspiration. I hope one day you too can make a kind of noise with 2 fingers shoved in your lips. I mean, if I got 2 fingers in my mouth, I'm making noise all right. I shouldn't be allowed to speak ever again, right? How computers actually work and can play complicated games. What's so hard to understand? It's just a few billion logical statements running at a speed of a few billion per second. Yeah, it's like not that complicated. Even I could do it. I just don't want to. The whole concept of crypto trading and Bitcoin Bitcoin. Okay, so you see, it starts with the blockchain, all right? You're following, and then that translates into Minecraft, and then you get money. If someone could help me understand why smoke travels towards you when you are at a campfire, that would be great. I only understand that while hot air from the campfire rises, cold air is drawn in from the bottom, and the area blocked by the chairs or you somehow attracts smoke in your direction? It doesn't seem to make sense that the air would be attracted to that area. The smoke is going to go away from where the air is rushing in. If cold air is being pulled in from every direction but yours because you're blocking it, it is going to go towards you because it's being blown by the air coming in from across from you. It can't go in the other directions because air is coming in from those directions too. Yeah, even after that explanation, I still don't get it. But have you ever considered maybe I'm just that attractive? That ever crossed your mind? Anything relating to finances, taxes, retirement, stock market, buying a house, the list goes on. It's like the minute my brain hears numbers in quick succession, it self-destructs. Thankfully, my partner works in this industry, so I can defer to him. But I know he won't always be around, and when that day comes, I'm in trouble. Quantum entanglement. A theoretical physicist gets pulled over by a cop. The cop says, "Did you know you were doing 80?" The physicist says, "Great, now I don't know where I am." I don't even understand this joke. In simple terms, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle states that you can't know both a particle's momentum and position. If you know one, you can't know the other. All right, pack it up, nerds. I don't need this science talk right now, okay? What is the stupidest thing people brag about? Kid in my class bragged about how he stole an air freshener from the school bathroom. He was holding an unwrapped wet urinal cake in his hand. Oh God, oh no. My neighbor was bragging about how long her 3-year-old son's penis was. She told my wife and I, "Everyone always says, OMG, his penis is so long." I'm just like, why the F have so many people seen your boy's wang? Yeah, that's terrible actually. I would maybe report your neighbor. Anything to do with hustle culture. Wow, you got crappy sleep under your desk? I was comfortable in my bed. Haha, a strange flex. Internet fame. It definitely depends on how much fame you have. Like that one guy at VidCon who had like 8,000 followers thinking he was hot shit. Yeah, that's embarrassing. Intelligence. The dumber they are, the more they brag. Guys who brag about being built different. Sure, dude, you have a beard, a full sleeve tattoo, and a pickup truck. You're so different. Being an alpha. Sorry, homeboy, if you feel the need to announce it, you ain't it. And you know that. Family money, especially in college. Yeah, bro, that yacht you're showing off is totally yours. I'm not sure if it's intended as so, but people talk about their mental issues like it's a flex. It's not a flex, it's a disease. What happened to the smartest kid in your class? I don't know, cause I did not follow up with anybody. Got a full ride to Harvard. Did an internship his first summer at Intel and was killed by a drunk driver a few weeks after arriving in California. Effing couldn't believe it when it happened 25 years ago. Still can't, really. Ooh, that one took a really sharp turn into the sad zone. He got sick with a rare stomach disease and isn't doing too good. Oh my God, is it just gonna be bad stuff? There were two. They were twins. They're both geneticists now with PhDs, and they work at the same university. Smartest guy from my high school became an actual rocket scientist. I believe he works for NASA. He deleted his Facebook a while ago, like the smartest kid in our school would do, but that's what he was doing last I checked. He's in jail for murder. Came as a surprise. I'm gonna need you to elaborate on that. He was a really nice, friendly guy. Didn't expect him to ever be violent. Then one day I read he shot his business partner execution style. Died from a brain tumor right after he graduated high school. He was dang smart. Could play the piano upside down too. Was he upside down or the piano? Yes. He moved to Poland and became a molecular biologist. He went to MIT, works for Apple, and has a very expensive home in California. He also has a wife and 4 kids and seems to be very happy. I remember he was programming games in high school and was valedictorian. A big nerd who became a wealthy big nerd. Weird way to end that off. Were you like a jock or something? I know it's hypocritical, I called other people nerds, whatever. I had such a big crush on her and told her. We dated. She moved across the country to study and is now a doctor. So proud of her, even though our lives changed paths. What is denied by many people but is actually 100% real. You can love someone else without loving yourself first. There's there's plenty of parents that hate themselves and love their kids. Not recommending it, but it's a stupid thing to deny. Herd mentality. No matter how smart or independent you think you are susceptible to herd mentality. It just happens. Majority of folks aren't playing the official Uno rules. Almost every time I've played Uno, there's like some new mystery rule that's added in. Psychics cannot predict when I will visit them. Do you have an appointment? Why would I need one? I think that's the biggest red flag when you're going to a psychic is if they ask if you have an appointment. They would know. When I went to sea, I would see the occasional flying fish. It was surprising how many people thought I was pulling their leg when I told them about it. It is actually kind of crazy because when I was younger, I went on a cruise and I did see them jumping out of the water off the side of the boat and I was just blown away like, oh, what a fish and fly. Confirmation bias. Reading into a situation what you want to see. I knew someone would post this. That our memory is very fallible and does not work like a video camera. People largely deny responsibility for anything they contribute to. Well, I don't want to get in trouble, okay? A lie detector isn't reliable. I mean, they've been around long enough that people have found the strat to just get through it, you know? If one of your friends had an I know a guy moment and then called you, what would they be calling you for? They probably called the wrong number. I work on a farm and can access ungodly amounts of fresh fruit. Hey, Zerby, can you confirm this obscure fact about English history? It's either that or they're calling me for IT support. The history ones are more fun. I'm a lawyer. I get that call 5 times a day. I was a tech genius to my grandma before she passed. As far as my mom is concerned, I am a tech genius. Sadly, probably for tax advice. I'm an accountant, but I'm not a tax accountant. But I'm pretty handy with Google and the IRS website, so it still generally works out. I mean, at a certain point, you're just gonna have to tell them, look, go on Google, go to the IRS website. I can't help you. I have a pickup truck, and I'm happy to help people move stuff with it. It's always handy to have a friend who has a truck. Definitely not forgery. I've never forged a downtown parking pass, report card, bank statement, school ID, passport, event staff ID, or coupon/barcode in my life. Okay, not very helpful. Who can I call to do that then? Random trivia. I'm not really an expert on anything, but I know a bit about a lot of stuff. I've had people call me to ask the most random questions and then say, I knew you'd know. That's what I'm known for. Vast amounts of completely useless and trivial knowledge. Socializing a feral kitten. That's an interesting skill to have. Movie recommendations. What statistically improbable thing happened to you? When I was a teenager, I picked up a hitchhiker, and then a few years later, the same guy picked me up when I was walking after I ran out of gas. Never saw him before or after those 2 occasions. My friend had 2 sets of monoamnionic twins, the rarest kind of twins, in back-to-back pregnancies. Identical twins that share the same amniotic sac and same placenta. Mono or Momo twins happen in about 1% of identical twin pregnancies and less than 0.1% of all pregnancies. Got attacked by a robin in the morning, then attacked by a hawk 3 hours later. Weird day. I mean, I get attacked by a robin almost daily, but it's not a bird per se, it's more the person. I've been hit in the head by live squirrels 3 times in my life, each on separate occasions. Alright, but what did you do to the squirrels that make them want to hit you in the head? After losing an AirPod while skiing, I was able to find it the next run. I mean, that's not the most improbable situation, especially if you know kind of where you dropped it. I received my heart transplant after being on the list for only 7 hours. You must have literally hit the jackpot. I was on a road trip with my cousins in the 80s. One of them kept playing the same song over and over by rewinding the tape and playing it again. The song was Another One Bites the Dust. After 3 plays in a row, the driver pulls out the tape, says enough, and turns on the radio. Sure enough, that song was playing on the radio right then. Oh my god, I'd lose my mind for a couple seconds, but in retrospect I would laugh. Picking the slowest checkout lane in the grocery store every single time for the last 40 or so years. I don't think I've seen a comment that has ever made me feel so seen and so heard. Like, this happens all the time. I've accidentally walked into a riot on 3 separate occasions in my life. I was hit in a crosswalk 2 times as a pedestrian by the same person. The incidents were 4 years apart and in different states. Once is an accident. A second time is a scary coincidence, especially for different states. My twin sister and I hit the same answer to rock, paper, scissors 14 times in a row. My husband thought we were cheating. Gotta love the power of twins. What is your go-to joke when somebody asks you to tell one? That's the problem I have. I don't have jokes loaded up, so I just panic and start screaming. Did you know that before the invention of the crowbar, crows just drank at home? Okay, that's clever. I like it. A man is walking through the woods when he finds a suitcase. Curled up under the suitcase are a fox and 4 cubs. He immediately calls animal control to report what he found. Oh no, that's terrible, says the animal control worker. Are they moving? I don't know, says the man, but I guess that would explain the suitcase. I give it like a 3 out of 10. I told my doctor I broke my arm in 3 places. He told me that I should stop going to those places. A man walks into his son's room. He says, "Son, if you keep masturbating, you're going to go blind." The son goes, "I'm over here, Dad." One day, a man is waxing the car with his son. His son looks up and says, "You know you can use a rag for this, right?" What's the difference between a hippo and a Zippo? One's really heavy and one's a little lighter. I bought my friend an elephant for his room. He said, "Thank you." I said, "Don't mention it." Did you hear about that guy that dipped his balls in a jar of glitter? Pretty nuts, right? What's the difference between an owl, a piano, and a fish? You can tune a piano, but you can't tune a fish. What about the owl? Who? That one's good, but it does rely on the person paying attention enough to remember the owl. I'll never date another tennis player. Love means nothing to those people. What's the #1 cause of dry skin? Towels. Ugh, that one's such an eye roll. Oh my god. Well, they can't all be winners, but you know who is a winner? You, because you've made it to the end of this video. Thank you all once again for watching. My name is Brandon, and I will say things at you later. Bye!